Following their crushing defeat at the recent election, the Victorian Liberals have now elected John Pesutto as their new leader. He beat out Brad Batten in the race for the top job today. How Pesutto is going to perform in the new role, well, that's going to be determined only by the passage of time. But what we do know is that the Liberal Party has churned through 5 leaders since Daniel Andrews became Premier, and on every occasion they've failed to cut through. My question is, will Pesutto be able to steer the party back in a right-leaning direction and actually make it stand for something? Because for the past 12 years, the parties seemed lost at sea and falling for anything. Joining me now is a true Conservative who's in that Liberal Party room and was successfully elected to the upper house, Renee Heath. Renee, first off, congratulations, but what do you make of the new leadership installed today?
Thank you so much for that. I made a decision well ahead of time before I walked into that room today that whoever the leader would be, I would completely get behind. And I know that that's something that many of our colleagues have done. Now, I think the media have painted this as a battle between the right and the left of the party. And to me, it doesn't really matter. And also, I don't think it's quite accurate. I think that what matters here and what people are looking for in the next sort of chapter ahead is, are we going to return to our Liberal values? Because our Liberal values are neither left nor right, but they are values that we build strong societies on, and they're values of, the individual, personal responsibility, reward for effort. These are the things that we've really got to return to.
I absolutely agree with you. The Liberal Party We Believe statement is, I think, a masterpiece, but unfortunately too few Liberals seem to believe in it. And without pointing the finger at anyone in particular, you had your own issues with Matthew Guy, the previous leader. He was going to actually ban you from the party room because there was this political hit piece in the Channel 9 media. The party's got to be more accepting of Conservatives. It's got to be more accepting of particularly those who hold conservative religious beliefs, in order to, make it less likely to kowtow to the left. Do you think that's going to happen in this new administration?
Look, I certainly hope so. But I think what's important to notice is I think that we've got to stop the blame game, and we've got to stop blaming and start building. So the Liberal Party needs to be the home of people who love freedom. And I just will say, and I'll put it out there, I've forgiven Matthew. I honestly think that offence is what keeps us continually in opposition, because we start fighting one another rather than the true enemy, which is Labor. And that's what we've got to focus on now. So I think in terms of what you just asked, will it be more accepting of Conservatives? I think John Howard put it so beautifully when he described the Liberal Party as a broad church. It encompasses both Liberal and Conservative thinking. And somebody described it to me that you can't fly a plane straight without the left or the right wing. Those systems are set up to keep us sharp politically, to keep us accountable and make sure that we're just not an echo chamber. So I am really hoping for good days ahead. I think that the best thing we can possibly do is just come back to our values, to see how Menzies made that happen. He was somebody who just led the nation in a time of crisis. There was a reason that he was the longest serving Prime Minister in Australian history. And I believe that that's because he took both Conservative and Liberal thinkers and he raised the standard so everybody could have a chance of a better life. So that's what I'm hoping that we really begin to see in this next chapter ahead. It can't be business as usual. And I just hope that, and I've got a good hope that we can all come together and begin to raise the standard in our party.
Yeah, they're excellent words, and I like to hear them. You made the point about the broad church and 2 wings to fly, but I remember one wag said the Liberal Party is meant to be a broad church. It was never meant to be a brothel, and it seems that some people are dragging it, kicking and screaming into places that it never really should go. Before I let you go, though, I've got to ask you, what's the major policy area that you think the party should be focusing on? And I don't want you to skewer your leader or anything else, but from your perspective, where do you think the party should be applying its priorities?
Look, I'm certainly not setting the agenda. I'm a member of a team, and I'm gonna get right behind what our leadership decides. I think, however, over governance is costing Victorians incredibly. What we've seen Daniel Andrews do is reach into every area of society, and there's been a cost to that. He's gone into areas that he's just not welcome, into churches, into hospitals, into doctors' offices, into schools. And the cost of that is the focus has been there. So people have been dying on the side of the street waiting for an ambulance. So I think that the focus has to come back to making sure that we are doing the basics. And also I think, I just lost my train of thought there, I'm sorry. We've got to come back to the basics because everything has a cost. So I really believe, oh, sorry, go Cory.
No, Renee, I'm really interested in what you're saying because you have put on a very polished performance today. And if that's any indication,
thank you.
I got to tell you, you've got a very bright future in politics. So congratulations. Well done on your election and do good things for the people of Victoria because they need them and you know that. So Renee Heath.
I'm going to try that. Thank you so much. Thanks, Cory. Bye.